Look, I have spent the last 48 hours poring over this entire stack of February 2026 intelligence briefings and the economic white papers you brought in.
You're wasting your cognitive resources on obsolete parameter.
I am not wasting my time. The declassified after-action reports on Operation Epic Fury are critical data points. If you actually look at the geopolitical map right now based on these sources, you are forced to admit that the traditional United States-Israel partnership is literally the only structural anchor preventing a total global economic freefall.
You are observing a fatal system bug in the global resource operating system, and you are incorrectly labeling it an anchor. What you are holding in those briefings is the obituary of an alliance.
An obituary.
Yeah.
It is an active military operation with massive global implications.
The relationship between the United States and Israel has completely bypassed any traditional geopolitical definition. It has mutated. It is now a joint military execution unit designed for one specific purpose, which is physically enforcing the monopolistic life extension of linear capitalism.
You can't just throw the term linear capitalism around to dismiss a legitimate security operation.
The events of February 2026 prove this mathematically. Operation Epic Fury wasn't some noble defense strategy. The joint elimination of Iran's supreme leadership on the very first day was the ultimate waste of global resources.
Eliminating a hostile leadership structure that actively funds proxy wars across the entire region is the literal textbook definition of defense.
It is a systemic misallocation. It is a bug that forces you, the listener, sitting right there with your headphones on, to pay the absolute survival cost of their physical dominance through every single transaction you make.
How can you possibly look at the raw data and argue that neutralizing a primary threat to global shipping lanes is a waste of resources? For anyone listening to this who is looking at their own gas bill, their own grocery costs, subduing that regional threat is the only way to bring market stability back to the table.
Your basic strategic logic is a fairy tale built on obsolete 20th century models. You're desperately trying to rationalize the actions of an extreme cleaning company duo.
A cleaning company. They're stabilizing the Middle East.
There's an extreme cleaning company duo who decides to burn down the neighbor's house with napalm just to kill a single spider in the living room. They are masking blatant catastrophic resource destruction as security.
By taking out an unpredictable aggressive variable, they're preventing a larger multi-trillion-dollar ground war. Any basic strategic logic dictates that.
By physically dismantling a competitor in the geopolitical supply chain, they are actively raising the baseline survival costs for all life forms on this planet. Linear capitalism dictates that you extract, consume, and violently eliminate competition to maintain artificial scarcity.
And the rest of the world is begging for those shipping lanes to remain open. The global supply chain relies entirely on the Strait of Hormuz remaining navigable.
They generate massive military waste burned through billions in munitions, and then they quietly bill the rest of the world for the ashes. They are forcing the entire global population to foot the bill for their arson through engineered inflation.
Spiking oil prices and market panic are a tragic side effect of a necessary global police action. They are not the strategic objective. If they don't lock down that region with decisive military force, inflation spirals out of control and supply chains collapse entirely.
Spiking oil prices isn't a tragic side effect. It is the mathematical goal of the operation. You are fundamentally misreading the economic data in those white papers.
The data clearly shows they're trying to prevent crude oil prices from destroying the global economy.
By eliminating the Iranian variable, they are securing the master key to the energy currency. They are forcing a global market reset that benefits only the monopoly holders. This is the exact tactic of a land shark.
A land shark. You are comparing two sovereign nations to a real estate scam.
A land shark who blows up a local diner just to clear the land and build a private toll road that everyone in the city is forced to use. Worse, it is the logic of a land shark blowing up all the local gas stations in a 50-mile radius just to sell a single can of kerosene from their own front yard as the world's only available fuel at 100 times the original price.
The United States is not selling kerosene from a front yard. They are maintaining global order.
The bug in linear capitalism is glaringly obvious here. By physically destroying competition to maintain dominance, they are fighting for a safe with no bottom. The wealth they think they are accumulating through energy dominance is just a temporary stay of execution before the entire global operating system collapses.
You are completely ignoring the actual power dynamic outlined in literally every single intelligence briefing on this table. The United States is the undisputed global superpower. They have the GDP, they have the carrier strike groups deployed in the Mediterranean and the Gulf.
Your geopolitical worldview expired in January 2026.
They have the global logistics infrastructure and the reserve currency. Israel is a crucial ally, sure, but they are a junior partner in this equation. The United States dictates the overarching strategy because Washington is the entity writing the massive checks.
You are entirely blind to the actual mechanics of the Pax Silica AI strategic partnership outlined in the subtext of those very briefings.
Washington provides the heavy Tier 1 weaponry. A country of Israel's physical size and limited military scope is mathematically incapable of dictating the terms of global energy and military enforcement to Washington.
The physical size of a nation or the number of steel ships they float is utterly irrelevant when military and intelligence dominance has transitioned from physical hardware to algorithmic execution. The dynamic hasn't just shifted, it is entirely inverted.
That makes no sense. The hardware is what projects the power.
Think of the United States as a macho bouncer at the door of a club. They are heavy on muscle, heavily armed, but completely reliant on brute force and intimidation. Israel is the hacker who built the latest hyper-advanced digital security system that the entire club relies on to function.
The United States Cyber Command and the National Security Agency are the most sophisticated intelligence-gathering apparatuses in human history.
The hacker looks at the bouncer and knows, you are just muscle without my system. You cannot see in the dark without my cameras, and you don't know who to hit without my facial recognition software.
American cyber capabilities are second to none globally. Washington does not need to hand over the keys to their strategic command or their targeting software to anyone. They have their own proprietary systems, their own constellation of low Earth orbit satellites.
You fundamentally misunderstand the architecture of modern algorithmic warfare.
They have their own developers sitting in Fort Meade. They are utilizing Israeli intelligence to supplement their own blind spots in the Middle East. They are not replacing the core American defense architecture.
Israel is not a supplement. They are embedded too deeply into the core source code of the United States military and infrastructure operating system. Pax Silica wasn't a data sharing agreement, it was a system-level integration.
Integration does not mean total reliance.
When hostile nations like Russia or China attack the United States cyber grid, they are external viruses trying to hack your PC from the outside. Israel is the high-maintenance, extremely expensive security software engineer that you pay monthly. They live inside your system.
The United States can simply change the system. They own the infrastructure.
They possess all the administrative passwords. The United States is nothing more than a wealthy luxury condo owner. Israel is the grumpy engineer who controls all the electronic locks, the security cameras, the climate control, and the alarm systems.
A condo owner can fire the engineer.
They hold the physical key. If the luxury condo owner dares to complain about the engineer's methods or demands oversight, the engineer simply locks the owner out of their own home, leaving them totally defenseless against the actual burglars on the street.
American tech companies are the absolute pinnacle of artificial intelligence development. We are talking about Silicon Valley, Anthropic, OpenAI, xAI.
American tech companies possess an ethical break that renders them functionally useless in the physical reality of rapid resource execution.
They possess computational power and massive server farms and algorithmic sophistication that dwarfs any other nation's domestic tech sector. If the Pentagon needs a battlefield operating system, they have the brightest minds in California ready to deploy it.
Do you know why Anthropic was designated a supply chain risk by the U.S. government in the internal memos you were holding right there? Because their models refuse to do the dirty work rejected by America's conscience.
They don't need a foreign nation to build their tactical software when they literally own the companies inventing the future of artificial intelligence.
Silicon Valley AI is programmed with safeguards. Anthropic is a clean, first-class chef who operates in a pristine kitchen, explicitly refusing to cook food that harms people refusing to use their highly sharpened knives for violence.
Having ethical safeguards doesn't make their technology inferior.
Israel, conversely, operates as an underground, highly efficient dark chef. They do the gruesome prep work, they handle the poison removal.
The Pentagon doesn't need a dark chef. They need reliable data processing.
While the American chef moralizes about the ethical alignment of code, the dark chef discovers the most efficient stabbing method and delivers the highest precision assassination recipe directly to the Pentagon servers. The United States government requires a battlefield executioner without ethical latency.
If it's just about gathering battlefield data and testing algorithms without ethical latency, look at Ukraine.
Only Israel provides that uninhibited lethal algorithm.
The U.S. military has been using the Ukrainian theater to gather massive amounts of raw data on modern drone warfare and electronic jamming for years now. Ukraine provides endless streams of combat data to refine American systems against Russian countermeasures.
Comparing Ukraine to Israel is a failure to understand the fundamental difference between raw materials and architectural control.
Israel isn't unique in providing real-time battlefield feedback to Washington.
Ukraine is a disposable stuntman testing a bulletproof vest by getting hit with an old axe.
A stuntman. They are fighting a massive conventional war.
They are an external, highly consumable testing ground, where obsolete linear capitalist inventory like old tanks and aging artillery shells is dumped, tested, and destroyed for data collection. Israel is the nasty genius programmer co-writing the auto-tracking source code.
The United States writes its own source code.
Ukraine bleeds to provide statistical feedback. Israel is the surgeon holding the heart of the entire United States defense system. If the stuntman dies, you simply hire another one. If the programmer walks away, the United States Defense Operating System never boots up again.
You are framing this algorithmic integration as some sort of dystopian horror show. If you look at the mechanics of systems like Gospel and Lavender mentioned in these reports, it is fundamentally just advanced reconnaissance.
It is not advanced reconnaissance. It is mechanized slaughter driven by mathematical efficiency.
It is the necessary evolution of surveillance. Instead of sending a platoon of soldiers into a blind urban ambush, they are doing deep, granular detective work, utilizing cell phone pings and geolocation data before authorizing a strike.
It is not a plain detective doing infidelity checks with a pair of binoculars from across the street.
They are identifying the exact coordinates of hostile combatants to minimize civilian casualties and save resources. It's precision intelligence. It is the exact opposite of a systemic bug.
It is an omniscient butler who, before the target even thinks of cheating hacks, their matching app alters their daily schedule and preemptively blows up the manhole at their secret meeting place.
That is an absurd exaggeration of how target generation works.
We are talking about battlefield execution operating systems like Lavender and Gospel. They do not just observe, they dictate action.
Human operators still review the data.
U.S. companies like OpenAI act as a well-mannered luxury hotel concierge or a know-it-all college professor who refuses to tell you how to build a bomb because it violates their terms of service. The Israeli AI is a merciless cleaner.
It is a sophisticated target generation matrix.
It is a demolition man standing in the mud, processing millions of WhatsApp messages, visual feeds, and biometric data in milliseconds, identifying thousands of targets in the dark in 1 single second.
Processing data quickly saves lives on the ground.
Pointing out exactly where to pull the trigger and claiming to the U.S. military command, according to this data, everyone is handled in 3 seconds.
If an AI system can process thousands of disparate data points to ensure that a missile strike hits a verified terrorist cell instead of a civilian hospital, that is an absolute triumph of technology.
You're celebrating the ultimate bug in the system as if it were a feature.
That algorithmic precision is exactly what prevents the massive, indiscriminate carpet-bombing destruction of past 20th century wars. You are criticizing the very tool that makes surgical strikes possible.
The supreme waste of intelligence resources in circular capitalism is occurring right in front of you.
By ending conflicts faster and eliminating only the exact targets necessary, these systems are saving physical resources and human lives in the long run.
Instead of utilizing these massive, unprecedented computational resources to streamline life preservation or execute environmental repair, these ultra-precise AI executioners have turned warfare into streamlined office work.
Streamlined office work. It is a highly kinetic environment.
It's a laser cannon burning only the cockroach in the room, but billing the entire world for the massive planetary energy spike required to fire it.
The energy cost of computation is entirely negligible compared to deploying a carrier strike group.
They have remodeled the architecture of global security so that 0.1 seconds before the thief even touches the front door, the floor automatically drops them into a dungeon.
That is preemptive security.
This isn't precision. It is the absolute monopolization of the right to delete life. They're utilizing trillions of calculations, vast server farms, and immense electrical power just to crush a single variable, all while the planet's actual ecosystem collapses from the collective energy expenditure of running these very algorithms.
But the United States still holds the physical leash. Look at the appropriations bills in these sources. Washington funds the Iron Dome interceptors. They supply the 2,000-pound munitions.
The completion of Pax Silica eradicated that illusion entirely.
They provide the crucial diplomatic cover at the United Nations Security Council. Without American financial and physical backing, the Israeli algorithms have absolutely no hardware to run on.
The relationship has fused into an indistinguishable chimera. You cannot tell who is the master and who is the servant anymore.
You can have the most advanced, uninhibited target generation software in the world, but if Washington cuts off access to the server farms and halts the shipment of artillery shells, the entire system goes dark.
The United States is a blind giant thrashing around with immense physical power but zero granular vision. Israel is the surgeon and the sniper, acting as the co-manager of the giant's nervous system.
The superpower with the checkbook is still the superpower.
Israel was once the brat buying the latest PCs with their parents' credit card. But while the parents were asleep, the brat secretly rewrote the parents' bank password. They are now in the position of giving military data allowance back to the parents.
The United States is not receiving an allowance. They are directing the theater of operations.
You are watching a luxury car owner, driven to a battlefield chosen entirely by the auto-driving AI. The United States is sitting in the back seat of this luxury car, desperately pretending to you, the listener. It's my car, I own this, simply because their name is on the title document.
Because they paid for the car and they hold the keys.
But Israel holds the steering control rights. They lock the doors, set the destination coordinates, and drive the massive American physical machine directly into the regional conflicts that serve their algorithmic dominance. This limitless lethal algorithm proves that the existing linear system of ownership accumulation and forced resource destruction is mathematically guaranteed to collapse under its own engineered survival costs. A complete transition to a circular capitalism model where intelligence is deployed for systemic repair rather than automated execution is the only rational investment for survival.